Hey, everybody, and welcome to another exciting, thrilling, incisive, insightful. Incisive would mean that you're cutting. Edition of the Bullring, presented by PFC Brakes. I'm Alan Dietz, along with Jess, Ballard. Going to be joined by a lot of great folks today, including John McKennedy, Austin Nason, Eddie McDonald, and Ron Barfield. And, of course, we had a big weekend this past weekend on Racing America, which you watched our coverage from Nashville. We wish you would have been there, but you really were there in spirit.
I was, of course, but it's always a good excuse to break out the cowboy boots, and I obviously didn't wear them at home this weekend, but the broadcast was great. Your call on that big wreck with Austin Nason was just got my heart pumping. I was like, oh my gosh, it made me really have FOMO for not being there.
You think your heart was pumping. It was, that is really.
Let's ask Austin what he thinks.
Well, we're going to ask Austin what he thinks, and I'm not sure it's exactly what he thought Saturday night now that he's got to see it a few times, but we'll see what he has to say. Now, we also have some other exciting news. You were telling me that when we go to the Snowball Derby, you're going to be debuting your my brand new
haircut. It'll be a cut and color. This is how it's grown out of my head since being bald.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'm debuting my look at the Derby.
And I'm not embarrassing you because people would know you had done something to your hair versus now when they see you then. So, right? Yeah,
you're just giving people a heads up so they're not shocked.
Yeah, they're not going to be shocked.
I have learned that if you give people a heads up that you're going to be bald or something like that, they are appreciative.
Yep, and that's what I told my wife that 20 years after I met her would happen. And I think it prepared her. All right, are we ready for some highlights?
Let's do the highlights.
Let's do the highlights. All right, so we had a big weekend at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the All-American 400. It got condensed to Friday and Saturday. On Friday, the local divisions took the track at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You see some of the action from those divisions. And then on Saturday, everything had got condensed with the rain that did come on Sunday. They would not have been racing Sunday, I can promise you that. The Boards Compact Touring Series was in action. Kyle Stark took the win there. CRA Street Stocks, great fields in all the divisions. Brett Hudson was the winner there. And then we get to our two late model races, the 400 part of the All-American 400. Stephen Nasse won the All-American 400, but it's that wreck that you mentioned between Matt Craig, Austin Nason, and Cole Butcher that I think everybody ended up talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've never seen a late model almost blow over like that, and it seems to be the general consensus. And I think we talked about this last Bullring, how great it would be for Steven to just keep winning these crown jewel races.
And let me tell you, we've done some research, and I did.
Did you fact check me?
I've confirmed nobody has ever won the Winchester 400 and All-American 400 in the same year. So I think the last driver to win both in the same year were Ross Chastain. He didn't win the Snowball Derby, though, and that was in 2012. And then the JCRA All-Stars, another race decided by an accident at the end. And Jake Bowman ended up being the beneficiary of that and get to go to the victory there. Saturday, we were also at New London Waterford Speed Bowl in Connecticut. The past super late models were there. Eddie McDonald took his second win of the season. We'll talk to him here in just a little bit. And the late models were also in action. Derek Blushaki with the win. So that gets us caught up on everything that happened this past weekend. Do you want to talk to some really cool people?
Yeah, that's why I took this job.
That's right. So when we come back, we're going to talk to the 2022 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, John McKennedy.
The 55th Annual Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. The bumper is torn down loose. It's the pavement every driver wants to race. 300 laps. Only one driver can take home the title. Don't miss your chance to watch history. Only on Racing America and racingamerica.com.
PFC Brakes has more championships than any other, and now they're on every champion's car as the official brake provider for the Camping World SRX Series. Remember, PFC Brakes. The secret is it's quicker.
Get crafts, sporting goods, restaurants, and the future of NASCAR all from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
With a can of PB Blaster in your hand, even you can work it like a pro. PB Blaster busts the toughest rust anywhere it's found. In the garage.
That's what I'm talking about.
In the yard.
Oh, that's right, you're in control. Come at me, bro.
Penetrate tough rust anywhere around the house.
Come on, get you some. That's right, baby. Woo!
PB Blaster. Don't bust your knuckles, bust your nuts.
Get some!
Hey, I'm Steven Nassie, and you're watching Racing America.
Well, our first guest today here on the Bullring, presented by PFC Brakes, is the newly crowned champion of the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour, and that is John McKennedy. John, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the championship.
Yeah, it's great to be here, and I really appreciate it. It's a very satisfying championship. I'm just thrilled.
Well,
and yet, but it slowly is.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that because, I was familiar with you 10 years ago or so, and you were running kind of the independent modified stuff, sort of like what Matt Hirschman does. And then it seems like you started doing more and more tour stuff, and the more you did it, the better you got. And just tell me about that climb and to get to where you are now.
Yeah, it was certainly a struggle. We did as much as we could out of my dad's garage here out behind the house. We had a lot of good years together, racing with the Modified Racing Series and the Tri-Track Modified Series, won some races, had a lot of success. I wanted to get to the next level, with the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour. It just wasn't happening, I had some rides here and there, and nothing really in concrete. It was only seemed like a few rides each year. Then there was a year or two that really nothing come about. And about 3 years ago, I was in a 10-wheeler hauling gravel, and Tommy Baldwin called me to drive his modified down at New Smyrna for Speed Weeks. And I really owe him a big thank you. He gave me a great opportunity. We had good success the few years I drove for him, and I feel like, he kind of got my name kind of in the modified tour the last few years. And, I gained a lot of experience at all these different tracks, and just got acclimated to them. And the last few years, we're pretty much a front run everywhere we go. And it just, it just kind of goes back from there. And, here we are now with some new car owners, Tim and Cheryl Lapine, and only in my second year running the NASCAR Modified Tour full time. And, here we are, champions.
Well, it is weird how fate is and how irony is. In the year that you win the Drivers' Championship, Tommy Baldwin wins the Owners' Championship. I mean, it's wild how things like that come around.
It really is. If you were to tell someone, last year this is how it was going to happen for 2022, I don't think anyone would agree to that. They'd probably just laugh at you. I'd win the Drivers, Tommy would win the Owners. But that's how it all shook out, and it's amazing. Congratulations to Tommy. That I got to know Tommy pretty well the last few years. Again, I drove for him for 3 years, and he's a very hardworking guy, well respected. No one deserves it more than him as far as the owners. He's a hardworking guy, and he's smart. So congratulations to Tommy, and it's just crazy year, man.
John, you mentioned that this is your second season in the Whelen Modified Tour. So are you planning to go chase that championship again next year, or do you have other plans?
To be honest, my car owner told me to take a few weeks off, enjoy it, and we're all going to get together in a couple of weeks and kind of figure out a game plan for next year. So that's the plan. We really don't know what we're doing next year between the modified stuff and the ISMA Super that I race from as well. We have plenty of options. We just got to figure out what we want to do.
What was it like at Martinsville? You go in there, and I think 3 of you, were right there under a blanket going for the championship. You get caught up in that accident late in the race. I mean, in your mind, how did it all play out?
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. It all happened so fast. There was a lot of emotion. At one point there, a little bit past the halfway point, the pit crew gave me an awesome pit stop. We came in the pits 5th or 6th. They had a killer stop. We come out first, and for 30, 40 laps, I was able to kind of control the race, keep a 3-4 car length lead, and just try to save as much as I could for the very end. I was trying to be very cautious with my brakes, and we had that last restart with 8 laps to go, and yeah, we were in a good spot. Jimmy and I were side by side off of turn 2, battling for the lead, and I felt a big bump from behind. And next thing you know, I'm turned sideways into Jimmy, and us two are both spinning out, crashing in front of 30 modified. So it was a lot of emotion. Talk about going from a big time high to a low all within seconds. I couldn't believe it. My team's whole season's work was just about gone in a flash there. It wasn't good. And finally, when I got the car kind of gathered back up and I was about to a stop, I could see all the cars stacked up in the corner. Looked like about 15 of them. And I knew I had to get going as fast as I could to try to reblend, ahead of majority of those cars if we even had a chance to still win the championship. So yeah, a ton of emotion. It was tough. It was disappointing how it ended. I wish the guys around us had a little bit more, awareness of the situation as far as the points and what was going on. But, it was hard racing. I watched the replay a few times, and it looked like the 22 there. And LaJoy maybe got together, and you see LaJoy's car take an abrupt left and, hooks my right rear and sends me into Jimmy. Just a racing deal, I guess you could say. But we were very, very lucky in a way to come out of that with all 4 wheels on it and still be able to finish and win the championship.
Well, John, I'll tell you, it was a heck of a season for you. It's been a heck of a journey for you to get to this point. We just congratulate you and wish you the best. We look forward to seeing what you do next year.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All righty, that's our NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour for this year. Champion, John McKennedy. Whenever we come back, we're going to talk to Austin Nason after a wild weekend in Nashville.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
5-Star Bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-Star.
say probably one of the biggest that had the biggest influence on me, short track racing and early in my career, is Mike McLaughlin. Old Magic Shoes. He was the one that taught me a lot about racing and how to prepare for races, probably more than anything, mentally and communicating to your race team, those things that I didn't know how to do and wasn't very good at to start. I think Mike helped me a lot with that.
We welcome you back to the Bullring today, presented by PFC Brakes. I hope you got to watch our coverage this past weekend of the All-American 400. I know you did, Jess. You were
did.
Commenting at home, and
I said you did a great. Alan did a great job, didn't he?
Well, luckily no one else is here to answer, but thank you for that. Somebody else who did a great job and was on the cusp of winning was Austin Nason. Austin joining us now, and of course, well, at least until Sunday in Ross Chastain, your flight there at the end of the All-American 400 was making a lot of the headlines. Since then, I'm sure you've been able to watch that accident over and over. What can you figure out? First off, why the car flew that way, and then we can break the accident down a little bit more from there.
To tell you the truth, I really don't know. The thing, I mean, we're doing 120, 130 miles an hour there. So when you get turned at the end of the straightaway, those things are all sealed off, like from the front nose all the way to the back of the driver's compartment. So there's nothing that really stops the airflow from picking it up. So that's the only thing I can really think of. Only other thing is that there might have been a bump that just kind of caused the car to kind of lift off, and the air took it from there. Like I said, it was one of the scariest moments of my life.
Yeah, Austin, we felt the frustration for you. You had a really solid run going on Saturday. For those of us who haven't strapped into a race car and the folks watching at home that have never strapped in, what is going through your head in those moments, and specifically this wreck, this crash where you're airborne?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I closed my eyes. As soon as I got turned around and I felt it start to lift off, I closed them. I was on for the ride. That's all I could really do. As soon as I landed, I opened my eyes back up and saw the wall coming. So I closed them back again and just kind of took the impact. Like I said, it was kind of like going off a roller coaster, really, to tell you the truth. When you kind of take that first drop, that's kind of what it felt like. Your stomach kind of just falls, and like I said, you're just kind of there for the ride.
Having seen the replay of the accident now, break it down to me how you think everything actually transpired there.
Yeah, now that I saw it wasn't the 53's fault as much as I thought. I was mad at him at first, but it was still kind of a racing deal. There's got to be a lot of give and take in racing. You got to take when you can and give when you have to. And I feel like that was one of the moments where it should have been given that he kind of backed out. There was no way we were going to make it through that corner 3 wide at that speed with coming to the white flag. So I get we're all racing for the win there, but there was a time and moment where he could have done something a little different. And then after hearing all the interviews, kind of put it on the 54, really. He kind of said he had to do the block, and I kind of, once I watched the video, he came down so fast and so hard, it kind of just took the front of my car and just knocked it right over. There was nothing really I could do at that point in the moment. Like I said, you're doing 130 miles an hour going into that corner, and we're all coming to the white flag. I get everyone's point of view. It's just scary. We all put our lives out there every weekend we go race, and for that to happen, it kind of hit close to home. I got a kid at home, so it's kind of put everything into perspective for me.
Well, one thing I hope that you can take in the larger picture of this year is just how strong you guys have been this year, and I hope you can take some confidence in that and take that to the Derby and into 2023, because you guys have really, really been impressive in a lot of big races this year. And and I hope that's something that can give you confidence.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, like I told the guys, I said we were there. They knew we were there. We had a chance to win, and that's all we can ask for. We started last place, and to be there on the last, I think it was 30 laps. We took the lead on lap 270 there for a couple of laps. We just didn't have the long run car, but like I told my guys, don't hang your head. You guys gave me an awesome piece. We were there at the end. We led laps. They knew we were there. We had a chance to win, and that's all you can really ask for.
Well, I'm so glad that you came out of that unscathed, and I appreciate you joining us today and kind of breaking it down for us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, that's Austin Nason after his wild ride at Nashville. When we come back, we're going to talk to this past weekend's past winner at Waterford. That's Eddie McDonald.
Every legend has a story. Every story a hero. Before their destinies were written, they raced here in the Snowball Derby. Busch, Elliott, Waltrip, Earnhardt, Wallace, and Ballard, modern-day legends of racing. This year, who will history smile upon? The most prestigious short-track race in America takes place December 1st through 4th at Five Flags Speedway. For event information, visit snowballderby.com. Legends start here.
Communication is key in the racing world. When it comes to at-the-track communications, there is only one place to call. Racing Electronics is the #1 source for professional race communications worldwide. Over 20 years in the business proves their dedication to the sport. With every driver and crew communication, two-way radios and headsets, scanners and more, Racing Electronics is a one-stop communication source for all your motorsports needs. Before the green flag flies, make sure you have all your team communication gear from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see a Racing Electronics representative at the track near you. Visit their showroom in Concord, North Carolina, or order online at racingelectronics.com.
It's race time on Short Track America.
Dirt or pavement, from east to west. Short Track America features some of the biggest grassroots races around the country. Super late models to street stock racing. If it's on a half-mile or smaller track, it's on Short Track America. On MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
Women-owned and manufactured in South Carolina, PFC Brakes is the #1 choice for motorsports, fleets, auto manufacturers, and first responders. PFC delivers the best brakes on the market, guaranteed to outlast and outperform the competition. If you're looking to win at the track or reduce downtime for your fleet, or just need more stopping power when towing your boat or trailer, look no further than PFC Brakes. Visit us at pfcbrakes.com to find your local PFC Brakes distributor today. PFC Brakes are bred to win, from the track to the job site. No compromises.
Hey, I'm William Byron, and you're watching Racing America.
Glad to have you back with us here on the Bullring this evening. Alan and Jess here with you. I want to thank our friends at PFC Brakes as we're joined now by the winner of the past Super Late Model race this past weekend at New London Waterford Speed Bowl. That is Eddie McDonald. Eddie, congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on.
Well, tell me a little bit, first off, about Waterford. I know for a lot of drivers, it was either a new experience or they hadn't been there in a long time. What was the case for you, and how did everything play out for you to get the win?
Yeah, I had been there a few times before in the old Busch North Tour, and then also in the ACT Tour. So I've been there a couple times, and I think the last time we ran there, we finished second. So it was nice to finally get a win there, and I think it's the first time my crew chief Rowley has had a win also there. So it was definitely he gave me a good car, and it was fun to drive on Saturday.
Yeah, Eddie, congratulations to you and your crew chief and your entire crew. Now that the season's winding down, everyone's kind of been reflecting on the 2022 season. Do you have a highlight or favorite moment from the season? Would it be this win?
Yeah, it was nice to be able to get that was our second win of the season, and we kind of had a little bit of a struggle throughout the middle part of the season. So it was nice to end out the year on a good note, and it was definitely nice to have the winter off, knowing that we won the last race. Try to build on next year.
What do you feel like? You talked about the middle of the year, and I know you led the points through about May or June. What was the struggle? I mean, every time I watched, it seemed like you guys it was just bad luck. I mean, was the performance of the car there, or what did you feel like the issue was?
Yeah, we definitely did have some bad luck. Got caught up in some stuff early on in the race at a couple of races at Oxford, which really kind of hurt us, in the points deal, because they start so many cars at Oxford, and then if you have a bad run there, you can lose a lot of points on a day like that. But we never looked at the points once. We really didn't plan on running the whole season, and we just kept taking it one race at a time and said we'll do the next one, and it was a fun year, being able to race a bunch, and wish we could have had a little better middle half of the season, but it was still a lot of fun getting the win early and also one late.
Eddie, I know the season just ended, but are you able to share with us what your 2023 plans are?
Yeah, we really don't know exactly. It was probably not as much racing as we did this past summer, but we'll still try to do as much as we can and see what the schedules look like for next year, and try to pick some good races and do as many as we can. It's just every year it gets a little harder trying to get everyone together and do all the races.
I didn't get it. I'm sorry, Eddie. You go ahead and finish.
No, I was just going to say we'll try to put together a nice schedule that works for everyone and try to go out and have some fun.
I didn't get a chance to ask you because we haven't talked to you since that win earlier this year, but the Oxford 250, do you feel like had you not got caught up, in some of that, some of those skirmishes early on and pitted and got all sequence from everybody, do you feel like you could have won that race, or do you feel like the fact that you were off sequence actually worked to your favor in a weird way?
Yeah, I don't think that really hurt us too bad. At the beginning it seemed like it was definitely going to be a huge challenge, but the car really came on strong, about halfway, and we were able to run, good ways on that set of tires before we pitted at, towards the end. So when we pitted at the end, that set of tires just didn't match up exactly the way the first set did. So the car was off just a little bit, but, it was great to be able to, get up to second, after that was one of our toughest tracks this year. So it was good to be able to come back there and have a strong run during the 250. That's, everyone's highlight of the year is to try and go after that win. And, so it was a good race for us. We wish we could have got a win there, but it was nice to have second place.
Well, you made me look smart because I said that whenever you got off sequence, this might actually work to your favor. And in some weird way, it actually made me look like I knew what I was talking about. So I appreciate that.
That's funny. Yeah, it definitely, for whatever reason, we took two tires when that happened, and that set of tires seemed to really match up good for stagger and everything. And it was able to, charge to the front. We were able to lead some laps and just didn't have enough for Cole Butcher. He was real good at the end, and Johnny Clark was really good too. So it was fun racing with those guys. Hopefully we can figure things out a little better and have a chance at it next year.
Well, Eddie, congratulations on the season. Appreciate you joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I just got to thank my car owner, Dave Lemieux. He was, did great with us this year, getting us a new car. And so we had a fun year. So looking forward to next year.
Thanks again, Eddie.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. When we come back, we're going to check in with Matt Weaver as we head into championship weekend at Phoenix.
The 55th Annual Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. It's the pavement every driver wants to race. 300 laps. Only one driver can take home the title. Don't miss your chance to watch history. Only on Racing America and racingamerica.com.
Ready to take your brand to the next level? At Victory Lane Design, we can help. If you are looking for a professional website, cutting-edge logo, a hero card that separates you from the pack, or video production to keep you connected with your fans, then check out VictoryLaneDesign.com, where winning counts.
Get crafts, sporting goods, restaurants, and the future of NASCAR all from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet, that's what they all say. Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America, it's in our DNA.
Rhino Classifieds is an online classifieds platform built for racers and race fans. Rhino makes finding parts, trailers, and specialty vehicles easy. Posting is free. Signing up is free. That's a lot of free. So jump in and join the most streamlined motorsports-focused classifieds out there at rhino.co. That's RYNO.co.
It's that time again to check into Weaver's World, Racing America's editor-in-chief, Matt Weaver. First off, Matt, it was a great weekend for you. You ended up getting to see the All-American 400 in Martinsville, and originally it wasn't going to work out that way.
No. So with the race being on Sunday up against the Cup race, I wanted to be at the Cup race this year. I kind of flip a coin every year. Is it Martinsville or Nashville? And this year it came up on Martinsville. And lo and behold, the weather actually worked out in my favor for once. And what a great way for that to turn out, right? So I saw the NASCAR Modified Tour race on Thursday at Martinsville, drove over to Nashville for the Stars Series briefing, and then saw the race on Saturday, went to Sunday, and I'm still trying to process what I saw at Martinsville. So, man, what a weekend.
Speaking of that, we almost saw a late model flip, have an arrow flip.
By the way, great call.
New. Well,
you sounded like Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah.
That's what I said.
I was just getting ready to say Adam Mackey was going on a little bit longer, and I wanted to, because I just knew where this was headed. So what I was going to say was I wouldn't want to be where Austin Nason is, because he's got two aggressive drivers on either side of him. So it was in the middle of me saying that everything ended up happening. But I mean, we have to say something about the Ross Chastain deal, which I still watch, and it looks like sped up video. I mean, it doesn't look real. And I've seen some people show some aerial diagrams of Phoenix, and I know NASCAR said that this is not out of the bounds of the rules. You could very easily do that at Phoenix from turn 3 to the checkered line there, the checkered flag. So what do you make of all this?
Well, we've never seen it before, because I don't think it was possible before. You look at the body, the composite body on these Cup cars, the way that the body kind of protects the wheels and the tires. If you tried doing that in an Xfinity car, a truck, a late model, man, that car would fold over as soon as the right front made first contact. So, I don't know that we could have seen it before. In short of Sunday at Phoenix, I don't think we're going to see it again. I don't know how NASCAR curbs it. We have way too many rules, way too many judgment rules to begin with. I don't want to see a world where, the new move at Martinsville is not the bump and run. It's that the entire, I think about it, I picture it in my head and I laugh, and it's just, I'm picturing like the top 10 all drilling the wall. It's just a completely absurd thought, but it's completely like realistic and plausible now. This car is built so tough, and it's one of the reasons we've seen a couple of drivers get knocked out with concussions. The car doesn't dissipate injury, the driver does. And so I think a long way to go to fixing this would just be, getting this car to dissipate energy better, because we need that for driver safety anyway. And if we get it to where the car, crumples when you decide to drill the wall at 130 miles per hour, that won't be an issue. But, for Ross, great ingenuity. He was told over the radio by Brandon McReynolds, you need two. And Ross says, I need two. And they said, yes. And so he did something that no one else was willing to do. And I think that is it's a top 5 NASCAR moment. And I don't think that NASCAR has been in the mainstream for something positive or good like that in, 6, 7, 8 years. And so we should celebrate it.
I mean, honestly, it may, if you think about, the passing grass and things of that nature, you may even go back to Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch at Darlington in 2003. Yes.
Yeah, Matt, you mentioned you laugh every time you are picturing this in your head. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I and Travis have replayed that video and just
you were probably climbing on the wall whenever that happened.
Oh my gosh, Travis is such a big Trackhouse fan. I mean, I felt like we needed to apologize to the neighbors because we were like, oh my God, what just happened? And we can't stop watching.
I can't either. I might have amounted 1 million of the 8 million views.
Yes. And I love that I saw people from outside the racing community, people from other disciplines of motorsports commenting. So like you said, it's something to be celebrated. And I think it's a huge testament to how much Trackhouse just they're a new team, but they believe in themselves and they wanted to get into that championship 4. So I guess let's look forward to this weekend at Phoenix. What are your predictions for how this championship shakes out?
This is so hard. We don't have a lot of data on this car. When we were there at Phoenix earlier this year, it was the 3rd race with this new car. So everyone's learned so much. And I don't know that there's any way to predict it because Phoenix is so unique. It's a 1 mile, but it's a fast half mile. There's the dog leg. There's the possibility that someone might not lift and, try to climb the fence. I don't know. But I'll say this, like, these are the 4 best teams with maybe exception to the 11. I think the 11 was so strong in the playoffs, but if you look at the average finish in the season this year, it's the top 4. It's the final 4. These are the top teams. And I don't know how you handicap Sunday. By the way, a wild card is the 5, Kyle Larson. He's also running for a championship. And so we're going to have 5 stories to focus on. And, the one car that's running for a driver's championship, Chase Elliott's not running for the owner's championship. So it could be a really big day for Hendrick winning 2 championships. Christopher Bell, walk off again, 2 rounds in a row, needed to win. No other outcome was acceptable. He's got the momentum. Ford has been the worst performing manufacturer, but Joey Logano has been locked in for 3 weeks, and they've done nothing but massage and prepare this car. And I think that's going to compensate for maybe some of Ford Performance's shortcomings. So what I'm saying is like I can make an argument for literally everyone. I can make an argument for Kyle Larson to win his championship at the expense of the drivers. And so I don't know. I don't like if you ask me to like make a prediction right now, I would say 22 Joey, because I think that guy is just so clutch and he's had so much time to prepare and it's a great team. But I don't know. I can't say that with any confidence whatsoever.
Well, it is certainly going to be interesting, that's for sure. We got about 10 other things we could talk to you about. We've ran out of time.
All-American. We got to talk the All-American.
I can't do it this week, but maybe we won't have a lot to talk about next week and we can catch
I'll
up
say this,
on
though. Great race, and I was glad that I was there. Glad that I was able to see the Stars Series briefing. We'll make it short there. A lot of cool things happening in short track racing, and I'm glad that we get to see it and talk about it.
I agree with you. We'll have fun in Phoenix this weekend.
Yes, sir. Talk to y'all later.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk to Ron Barfield of Dillon Motor Speedway.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety and the exclusive importer for Schroth belts and Schubert helmets. When risk is around every corner, let our experts help you select the best harness belts, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. Don't make safety an afterthought. We have 25 years of experience of educating our customers on all aspects of driver safety and providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sport cars. Visit our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts, or check us out online at hmsmotorsport.com to learn the details of our products and, of course, order online.
Women owned and manufactured in South Carolina, PFC Brakes is the #1 choice for motorsports, fleets, auto manufacturers, and first responders. PFC delivers the best brakes on the market, guaranteed to outlast and outperform the competition. If you're looking to win at the track or reduce downtime for your fleet, or just need more stopping power when towing your boat or trailer, look no further than PFC Brakes. Visit us at pfcbrakes.com to find your local PFC Brakes distributor today. PFC Brakes are bred to win, from the track to the job site. No compromises.
Well, one of the races you'll be able to watch this weekend here on Racing America on Sunday will be the Fall Spectacular from Dillon Motor Speedway in Dillon, South Carolina. Joining us now is track owner Ron Barfield. Ron, thanks for joining us. I know you guys, outside of the New Year's Bash, this is probably the co-biggest event at Dillon Motor Speedway.
Yeah, you know what? This used to be the biggest event at Dillon Motor Speedway, and then the New Year's Bash come along, and it kind of made it the second best, if you know what I mean. But it's a great tune-up for the New Year's Bash. I'm telling you, we have cars come from all over the United States to run some, to get a little bit of practice time for that New Year's Bash. I mean, we got race cars coming this race all the way from Vermont and New Hampshire, just coming down here to get a little track time.
Wow, that's really exciting that, car counts and the types of racers that you're attracting is so diverse. What are the things that fans need to know going into this weekend or going into the Fall Spectacular?
Well, I think the biggest thing is normally I just run one-day shows, but, for this weekend here, I try to bring in all the classes. We've got like 8 classes running. So both days on Saturday and Sunday, both, the gates open at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we race at 3:30 in the afternoon. So Saturday there's going to be half the races, and then Sunday's going to be half the races. So, you can kind of, and I do it kind of as where the racers don't have to come 2 days to race. They can just come one day on the day that their class, they get to practice, qualify, and race. But, if they want to come the second day, the earlier day, I give them a practice session that they can run a couple practices during the day. So that way, if they don't want to go in there and spend the high-dollar pit pass for all weekend long, they can come in and just run their scheduled day, and they don't miss anything. So, the biggest thing is for the fans, two great days of racing. Green Flag's going to go at 3:30 on Saturday, and then 3:30 on Sunday. So all the big classes are really on Sunday afternoon, and it's going to be good. I'm telling you, we're looking forward to it.
When I was growing up, I remember watching your race, and you're not a lot older than me. You were one of the rare teenagers that was driving a late model stock car and then an all-pro car, and you ran the NASCAR Xfinity Series. What have you found from this race, owning that racetrack, and the New Year's Bash with economy racers like street stocks and mini stock guys, things of that nature that you've been able to hit on that's worked so well there?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it comes from being a racer. I mean, years ago, whenever I drove my mom and dad's race cars, it was a family affair. I mean, my dad, my mom, they didn't take vacations. We went racing. That's what we did as a family. And, we all worked on the race car. We did everything. And I think that's whenever I turned into a track owner, I was very fortunate to be able to run the Cup Series, to be able to run the Busch Series, the Craftsman Truck Series, and make it there with a lot of good people behind me. But, yeah, I mean, just racing as a family, we always did everything together, and we didn't have a lot of money to race. So, I kind of cater to the guys that really can't afford to do it, but they want to do it so bad. They want to go to the racetrack. They want to work on their race cars. They know how to change spark plugs in their race cars. And those are the racers that I really cater to, and my heart goes out for, because I know they want to be there just like I want to be there. I'm on the other side of the fence these days. I'm on the promoting side instead of the driving side. But I really have a soft spot when it comes to the guys out there and gals that want to race and don't have a lot of money to do it, but they want to race. So I do cater a lot to that, but that's just because of my background, where I come from.
Well, I think that a lot of track promoters, just like yourself, that have driven race cars, that's what make them good race promoters. We always love going to Dillon, always look forward to the New Year's Bash, and really appreciate you letting us be a part of the Fall Spectacular again this weekend.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're looking forward for Racing America being there, and going to be streaming. So thanks all for what all y'all do for weekly racing and these big races and stuff like that. We couldn't do it without you, Alan. You've been a friend for a long time, and you know what? We've been doing things together, and we're going to continue doing things together.
Well, I appreciate it. And, if there's anything you need, just let us know.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All righty. Talk to you later. All right. So we talked about the Fall Spectacular, which is coming up this weekend. But you know what, Jess? It's not the only thing this weekend. So when we come back,
we're going to
find out what will be on
Racing America
this
weekend.
All right. We'll do that when we come back.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet. That's what they all say. Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America. It's in our DNA.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
The secret is, it's quicker.
Griffith is going to sweep the weekend.
PFC Brakes, more championships than any other.
From late models to modifieds on pavement and dirt, with at-track service like no other.
Success means no compromises.
Fourth Rattler win for Ty Majeski.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC Brakes. The secret is, it's quicker.
Cirque Motorsport has been providing industry-leading cleaning and analysis for heat exchangers for over 15 years. Now that same technology is here in the U.S., tailored to your specific competitive needs for every racing market.
The only 100% certain way to know that your cooler is clean.
Go to CirqueMotorsport.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more details on how we can help you gain Cirque speed.
Well, during the break, we were educating Jess on what we will be doing this weekend on Racing America, and we want to do the same for you. So, I'm speaking slower than I normally do.
I'm now literate. We hope the folks at home are as well.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the races that we're going to talk about is the Alabama Asphalt State Championship coming up at Montgomery Motor Speedway. Staying there since track down in Alabama for the Show Me the Money series. Our friend from down in Alabama, Adam Otwell, has a little piece for us to tell us exactly what we'll see this weekend at Montgomery.
For years, Montgomery Motor Speedway has entertained several generations of fans. And on Saturday, November 5th, they will witness two drivers face off in an epic race for the Show Me the Money Pro Late Model Championship. Jake Garcia and Gio Ruggiero, two young drivers whose futures in stock car racing are unlimited. Both drivers have already had success in 2022, winning several races, but winning a Pro Late Model Championship would be a first for both. For Jake Garcia, a championship would be a dream come true for him and Turnco Motorsports.
Definitely be really cool to win the championship here this year. I've been coming here and running here at Montgomery for a few years now, and I really haven't ran a full season the last couple of years, and finally got the opportunity to do so this year, and so it'd definitely be really cool to finally get the Show Me the Money Series championship.
For Gio Ruggiero, a championship would not only be a first for him, but a first for Anthony Camping Racing, a team that has won races with several different drivers, but not a championship. Ruggiero hopes to be the one that gives them their first.
I feel like it would mean a lot. The guys have worked really hard so far all year here, and we've been really determined, to win these races and to pull off a championship. So I feel like it would really be good, for me to win the championship, and I feel like these guys really deserve it.
Two drivers, one championship. Who will win? This is the Alabama Asphalt State Championship. Hold tight.
So, Jess, great points battle coming down to it with Jake Garcia and Giovanni Ruggiero. And, we were talking about it at All American. When you look at Gio Ruggiero, William Sawalich, Dylan Fetcho, Carson Quap. I mean, you can go through the list. There's a lot of talented young drivers out there right now, and I feel like that. I don't know how long we're going to get to watch them, because I don't think that this is something they'll be doing the rest of their lives. I think they're going to move up, but we can enjoy it now.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that the other day, how sometimes in late model racing, you only have a handful of the guys that are winning every weekend, or have a lot of consistency, and we have a lot of them right now. A lot of these young guys, and yeah, they probably will leave us and move on up into NASCAR, but it's really a treat right now having so many competitive cars on the racetrack every weekend.
Well, we'll have our Short Track America awards coming up after the Snowball Derby in December, and Gio Ruggiero, he could be a nominee for Breakthrough Driver of the Year. William Sawalich. But I don't think we've seen the best of Gio Ruggiero. I think that could be coming here in 2023. That's not going to be the only thing, though. We'll also be at Citrus County Speedway down in Florida for the Sandy DeCare Classic for the Wayne Sprint cars, and they'll have other divisions there. And as we talked to Ron Barfield about, they'll be racing at Dillon Motor Speedway in South Carolina on Saturday and Sunday. We will have coverage for you on Racing America on Sunday. So try to get out, support these facilities. But if you can't, watch here on Racing America. The main thing we want you to do, though, is get to that racetrack if you can. So be sure to check that out. We come back, we'll wrap up the show and get ready for another great weekend of racing.
Every legend has a story. Every story a hero. Before their destinies were written, they raced here in the Snowball Derby. Busch, Elliott, Waltrip, Earnhardt, Wallace, and Ballard, modern-day legends of racing. This year, who will history smile upon? The most prestigious short track race in America takes place December 1st through 4th at Five Flags Speedway. For event information, visit snowballderby.com. Legends start here.
Communication is key in the racing world. When it comes to at-the-track communications, there is only one place to call. Racing Electronics is the #1 source for professional race communications worldwide. Over 20 years in the business proves their dedication to the sport. With every driver and crew communication, two-way radios and headsets, scanners and more, Racing Electronics is a one-stop communication source for all your motorsports needs. Before the green flag flies, make sure you have all your team communication gear from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see a Racing Electronics representative at the track near you. Visit their showroom in Concord, North Carolina, or order online at racingelectronics.com.
Hooters and racing go together like killer wings and ice-cold beer. Racing has been at the core of Hooters' DNA from the beginning. Whether it's backing the best drivers or serving up the best food on race day, race fans know Hooters is the real deal. Big screens, great food, good times. Hooters, the official home of race fans.
Well, we want to thank all of our guests today on the Bullring, including John McKennedy, as well. I have to see who they were. Austin Nason, Eddie McDonald, Ron Barfield, and, of course, Matt Weaver. And as we said, we want to remind you we've got the Battle of the Stars coming up at Goodyear All-American Speedway next weekend. We'll get you ready for that. $20,000 to win for the late model stock cars. Thanksgiving weekend, the Bill Bigley Memorial at 417 Southern Speedway, $30,000 to win for the super late models. And then we're going to have a whole big week of the first week in December for the 55th annual Snowball Derby. And you'll be there doing some special bull rings, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
All right.
And we're going to have those short track awards coming up in December, and you'll be learning more about that on racingamerica.com and all of our channels, including our 24/7 channel on connected devices. Be sure to check out the Racing America channel on those smart TV apps. So for Jess Ballard, I'm Alan Dietz saying so long. We won't see you next week because we're taking off, but we'll see you in 2 weeks as we get you ready for all these big races coming up here in November and December. See you then.
The 55th Annual Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. It's the pavement every driver wants to race. 300 laps. Only one driver can take home the title. Don't miss your chance to watch history. Only on Racing America at racingamerica.com.
The secret is it's quicker.
Griffith is going to sweep the weekend.
PFC Brakes, more championships than any other.
From late models to modifieds on pavement and dirt, with at-track service like no other.
Success means no compromises.
Fourth Rattler win for Ty Majeski.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC Brakes, the secret is it's quicker.
Get up on your feet, race fans.
Can you believe it? Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanting to make that first lap.
Go!
Hooters and racing go together like killer wings and ice-cold beer. Racing has been at the core of Hooters' DNA from the beginning. Whether it's backing the best drivers or serving up the best food on race day, race fans know Hooters is the real deal. Big screens, great food, good times. Hooters, the official home of race fans.